Good evening, guys. We will start in another couple of minutes.
Good evening.
Yeah. By the way, there'll be no class tomorrow and day after, Wednesday and Thursday.
Yeah.
Tomorrow, as it is, there is no class. Thursday, since you guys didn't confirm, so we don't have a session on. Okay. Sorry, but how do I start? Where are rest of the folks? And I have to start PI planning. Ouch. Okay.
Sir, before others join, I actually gave mock interview.
Nice.
So he gave good feedback, but he said that I'm talking in very detailed manner. He said to keep it crisp. So I was explaining in detail for around 10 minutes with real-time examples. So he said those examples are good, but the interviewers, they may not like to hear everything. So you should be a little crisp. To
If
the
you were
point.
short, they would have said, give detailed example. अब पैसे मिल रहे हैं तो कुछ तो बोलना है ना भाई फिर. So no, I think this is fine. Let the interviewer say that I'm good with this. So he can tell you, right? I know you know. Let's move on to another topic.
And
So
he resume actually he reviewed it. Actually, my resume is only 3 pages, but he's telling it to make it even more crisp. So I then he said we should have in the resume we should not use different colors. Like certain sections I have used bold. So he's telling
no,
me
bold is not a good thing. I have it only one
only in
font.
one.
Uh,
And 3 pages will be fine,
huh?
or three
Three,
pages should
as
be.
long as on the first page, basic information is there. On the first page, information is there, na total IT
Correct.
experience, relevant
All
experience,
that is there.
your skills.
Yes, all that is there. Yeah,
And
you reviewed it actually. You said it's fine,
then fine.
but he's telling to coloring all that to make it less.
Color is right. Color is uniform color. I mean, black color, whatever is the this thing,
Yeah,
except.
he told to do that. That's the other thing. And he told to work on, I mean, research on metrics. Do more research on metrics. That's what he said as feedback. And
So, did you tell productivity metrics in that sense? Productivity, predictability, quality, engagement.
oh, I didn't say that. I said burn down chart, burn up chart, all
No, no.
those charts.
See, there are four kinds of metrics: productivity, predictability, quality, and engagement. So, in productivity, you have throughput, velocity, sprint burn up, release burn down, epic burn down, like that. In predictability, you have your sprint completion rate, block percentage. Then in the quality, you have defect density. What is the other one here?
Escape defects.
Escape defects, code coverage, percentage of high priority or critical bugs to total bugs. So these are your, and engagement metrics are the surveys that you send to the clients and how happy your stakeholders are. You find it out through the feedback in sprint reviews. All that we covered here, basically go through the metrics class.
Yeah.
And then cycle time, lead time, throughput, CFD. इतना कुछ पढ़ाया है यार.
No, I told in general that burn
हाँ.
down chart, burn up chart. Then he's
No, but
asking which
did you
you.
mention cycle time, lead time, CFD?
No, cycle time. I thought it's only for Kanban. He
No,
asked for Scrum actually.
no. You can use cycle time, lead time for bugs in Scrum. That is also
Okay. So
yes,
that I didn't mention. So
yes.
he told do research on metrics alone. Other things are fine, he said.
But if you cover the class also, what we have done, there are 20 metrics we have done, 20 to 25. That is
Mm.
sufficient.
Okay.
Okay. But yes, if you mentioned only two, then that's very less.
Yeah, two no velocity also I mentioned. Around
Less.
three.
Yes, yes, but you have to explain it like this: how much work the team does. That I will find with these. How is the quality of my team? I will find with these things. Are my engagement or happiness index? Are my stakeholders happy? Is my team happy? How will I find it? I will send surveys to my stakeholders. I will note down their feedback in the sprint review. I will then sprint. How will I find the happiness for my developers and testers? Through feedback in the retrospective and through sprint retrospective. How engaged they are, how many suggestions they are giving, what is their energy level. So sprint retrospective is a form of a metric. Similarly, sprint review is a form of a metric too. It is how you use it. So when they ask metric, you should be able to easily explain it. I mean, you 15-20 minutes, you have plenty of metrics here. Then bugs, I will track it through lead time, cycle time. Then there is CFD also.
Sir, you have any cheat sheet with examples?
Huh?
Okay.
Cheat sheet. This is a there is a metrics wala slide here.
Okay.
It
So
covers.
I didn't go through all the slides. I just went what I had in my mind because I had office work actually. I came from office only at 2:30 in the afternoon. So that is why I didn't prepare for it. I just went, okay, we'll see how it goes. So only the metrics part, it was not in my mind actually.
That is fine. That is fine. That is fine. No worries. Okay. Okay. So let us start. I think we've already given 10 minutes to. We will start with the. Today we have to do PI planning. So what is PI? PI is program increment. What is program increment? It is the time boxed event that under which the ART works. Time boxed event under which ART works. Okay, now. Okay, long weekend is there. People have already. Okay. So you guys are able to see the screen. Okay. Most of your questions will come from PI planning. What is PI planning? That is the question which we have to do today. Okay. So, but yes.
But the slides, this presentation is shared yesterday.
I'll share it here. Don't worry.
Oh, okay. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, no worries. Okay, but first question I have for you guys is, first explain me what is an ART. Anybody can give a definition of ART. What is ART? Deepak, you want to try ART?
Yeah, ART is nothing but an agile release train. So here we have around various teams actually. So maximum around 20-30 teams working for a common product. So that is
5
called.
to 12.
Okay, 5 to 12.
5 to 12. So so sometimes the products are not simple, they are complicated. You need multiple teams to work on a single product. In those cases where 5 to 12 teams work together for a particular product, 50 to 125 people, then they plan together, they release together, they build together. So in those teams or those groups are called ART.
So for multiple ARTs, we won't have many teams, like 50 teams. We won't have.
No, for multiple, see, one particular ART can be 5 to 12 teams. Okay. So is ART clear to all of us? Okay. So agile release train is a basic, the building block of SAFe. It is a combination of multiple teams that work together to deliver value, Now I'm going to get little more technical. So ART's technical definition is Agile Release Train is a combination of multiple agile teams that work together to deliver value within a program increment. It is very simple, just like Scrum teams. What is a Scrum team? Scrum team is a cross-functional team that works together within a sprint to deliver value. What is deliver value? Creating features, a working software. Value is anything which you can sell and you can get money from. So ART is a combination of multiple teams that work together to deliver value within program increment. Program increment is 8 to 12 weeks or 10 to 12 weeks. 5 to 12 teams work within a program increment. Please make sure you are 100% on this. What is PI now? Now you can tell me, Vilasha, tell me what is PI. You are mute here.
Oh, sorry. I was talking on mute. So PI planning is the program increment, which is the time box event where all these art teams work together for perform the planning for the upcoming release.
No. Come up again. What is PI?
PI is the program increment and PI planning is the event, time box
I am
event.
not asking PI planning. I am asking what is PI?
PI.
PI is program increment. That is the full form of PI. PI is a time box event. Just like
time box event.
Just like what is a sprint? Sprint is a time boxed event within which a Scrum team tries to deliver committed stories. Right? Similarly, PI program increment is a time boxed event
Time
of
box event.
8 to 12 weeks, during which ART tries to deliver committed features. And it includes multiple iterations. Iterations is nothing but sprints. By definition, ठीक देनी. If they ask you what is a sprint, sprint is a time boxed event where cross-functional team delivers value. Similarly, what is PI? PI is a time boxed event of 8 to 12 weeks where ART tries to deliver committed features to deliver. Okay. Now, what are the different events in SAFe? So yesterday we discussed we have a digital transformation ART. We have 6 teams. Let's go there and talk about it. So we have a banking application, and this application has 6 teams. These are the 6 teams: account management team, payments and transfer team, loan services team, UX team, infrastructure team, security and compliance team. So these are the 6 teams which we have. Now, all of these teams will get together on 3rd of October and 4th of October, and they will do PI planning. So in this PI planning, so it's a 2-day event. What happens on day 1? So I'll show you a typical PI planning. If you on 16th page, so this is a typical agenda for a PI planning. 8 to 9 a.m. business contacts, 9 to 10:30 this, 10:30 to then day 2 like this. So what are those things? Let us see in detail. So in the first hour is of business owners, people who are sponsors, people who are CEOs all the big top guns, like let us say this is a Geo Financial application or whatever. Geo Finance, it's a big, so who, all those Mukesh Ambanis of the world, all those big people. So Chief Information Officer presents the business need for the application and its strategic importance. Basically, they are saying that they will reduce the branch visits by 30%. That is why they are building the application. So why are we building this application? Then next is the vision presentation that we'll get into. But this is, so why are we building this application? That is what they are trying to explain. So first hour in PI planning belongs to the business owner. They will explain the strategic importance of why we are building that application. What is the business objective of doing what we are doing? Then in the second hour is for the product management team, where the product manager will present the program backlog. We discussed yesterday that for the entire application, for the entire app, we have 6 different teams. So if you combine all the features from all of these teams, that becomes the program backlog. That becomes the program backlog. So in the second hour, the product manager explains the product roadmap. Product roadmap is nothing but the program backlog, as in how many total features are there in this product. 10, 12, 15, whatever, they will talk about, okay, we have an account, we will allow the customers to look at the accounts overview, then payments will be, we can do payments internationally, domestically, there will be no limit, we will allow 50,000 per day, whatever they will talk about. They will talk in detail about each of the features that is going to be there in this product. Basically, product features. So the second hour is for product management team. They will talk about program backlog or the product features. Then the third hour is for the architect team or the technical roadmap. The second hour is product roadmap. The third hour is technical roadmap. In the technical roadmap, the architects will present it and they will explain how many total servers, how many customers we are going to cater to, how many APIs, what will be our encryption protocols, what will be our security framework, so on. What technologies we will be using, that kind of information they will be sharing to the audience. So day 1 of PI planning, it is typically a 2-day event. Day 1, first hour, second hour, third hour. First hour is for business owners, business objectives. Second hour is for product management team. They will present product roadmap. Third is for the architect team. They will present the technical roadmap. Very simple. Then we get into what you call team breakouts. Then we get into team breakouts. Most likely, I think this is the last session pre-lunch or even post-lunch. So what is this? This is where your role starts. In these 3 things, you have to listen and absorb the information what these guys are giving. In this session, the Scrum Master will be active. So what happens here? In this session, each team will break out. So all your 6 teams, they will, just IPL mein hota na, they are separate tables for each team in the auction. So same way, there will be separate tables or separate places where all the teams will get together. So here, the features are given or the epics are given in the second hour. Okay, we will work on accounts overview, we will work on payments, we will work on loan feature. Now each team has got which feature. So accounts management team has got its feature, payments team has got its feature. Now in the accounts management team, what will happen is the product owner and the team and the scrum master will break down the epic of accounts overview into user stories. Breaking down of feature into sub features or user stories is epic is broken down into stories in the team breakout sessions. So the accounts overview epic is broken down. So first story will be balance retrieval, then a transaction history, then API integration, so on. So whatever features you have. So this breakdown of features into stories. So typically, even before the PI planning, there is something called pre-PI planning, like we discussed. So in that PI planning, this homework would have been done. So on a macro level, these stories would be there with the product owner. And then these stories will be discussed with the team. What are they going to discuss? Two things primarily. They may do a high level estimation also, but primarily they are trying to find out the risks and the dependencies. So they will, when do we need to, so they will, so let us say they will start with balance retrieval. So let us say in balance retrieval, Venkatesh sir is the PO, he tells, okay, balance retrieval, we need this, and this. So suddenly Deepak says, boss, we need an API. Okay, if we need this feature to be delivered by iteration 2, iteration by the way is sprints. For our PI, this PI is 10 or 11 weeks and we will have 4 iterations. 4 sprints. Iterations is nothing but sprints. 4 iterations. But before starting of the iterations, we are doing PI planning. In PI planning, after the first 3 sessions, the last session on day 1 is the team breakout session, where first thing what is happening, epics are getting broken down into stories. Then these stories are getting discussed among the team members. Why? Because you want to find out dependencies. In the accounts management team, they say, oh, we need some API. So that API we need from payments team. Then we need UX design. There is a UI UX design team. Who is the scrum master of that team? Omkar, you are the scrum master. You've forgotten, yeah. Okay. So then let us say this is Sudipta's team, accounts management. So Sudipta says, okay, we need a API. So or we need a UX design for our accounts overview or page. Okay, so then that with that information, she will go to the UX UI team, which is handled by Omkar. But basically, what you are trying to find out is what are the dependencies you have on other teams, and what are the risks. Do you have enough resources? Do you have enough servers? Is there any other risk that you are raising? Do you have to work on a legacy code? What are the risks that you have? So we'll get into more into it. So on the last day of the, on the last session, epics are broken down into stories, and then the risks and dependencies for each team is identified by the respective team members. They will, oh, what are risks? Risk is anything which will prevent you from completing these stories. There could be various kinds of risk: resourcing, technical skills, dependency, all those are different kinds of risks. Tomorrow, or no, whenever we meet next, we'll get into more into risk management, where I'll discuss what sort of risks they will get into. But so from the, yes, Sudipta, go ahead.
Sir, I have one doubt. You said like epics are broken down into stories, and then like if there is any, like we will find like in my team what is the dependency and the risk, and then I will go to the other team. Like I have some. So that will happen. happen in this PI planning session only? That time only it will happen?
Yes. First, let us say you have identified the risks and dependencies.
In the breakout room,
The
what you
breakout
said.
session.
Okay.
Okay, that's it.
Internally.
How we reach out, forget about it for now. Okay.
Okay.
Day one, business owners, product
Hmm.
management
Okay.
team, architect team, and
Hmm.
team breakout session. In the team breakout sessions, you have
Hmm.
broken down epics into stories and you have identified your risks and dependencies.
Hmm.
That's it.
Okay.
You have identified those risks and dependencies. So this is your day one. Okay.
Okay.
Now let us go to day two. Yes, Abhilasha.
Sir, in this team breakout session, I mean, all the epics for all the 8 to 12 teams, they broke, or the separate team.
Each team is breaking down each team. So this session is called team breakout session. In the team breakout session, each of the product owners for every team, they will break down the epics into stories. So they will say, okay, this is the epic or this is the feature. This feature will have number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, these 5 stories. Then each story will be discussed and we will identify the risks and the dependencies.
But I mean, those epics or stories are already broken in a pre-PI planning.
No,
Here
no.
only they show.
No.
No.
The which epics are going to be done, that discussion has happened in the pre-PI plan.
Okay.
This is close to 3 to 5 hour sessions, these team breakout sessions. In these 3 to 5 hours, of course, the product owners know during the pre-PI planning, okay, these are the features. So they would have done their homework, okay, but they have to explain it to the team also, right? So that explanation is done here. If team has any doubts, something like grooming only here. This is basically your grooming session. So again, so now risks and dependencies are identified. From UX team, what do we need? From security team, what do we need? From an API team, what do we need? All that discussion. Sometimes the team will also go and talk to the other scrum masters or another program. This is what we need on day one itself, if time permits. If time is not there, then on day two. But if time permits, that discussion also happens. Then on day two, in the morning itself, the team refines their plan and resolve the identify. So now, Sudipta will go, she will tell the UX UI team, okay, this is what we need from you. You can plan this thing. So all these dependencies are spoken about. The release train engineer is also involved. These are all offline conversations that are happening with the team. So after this, they will draft PI objectives. This is nothing but so remember we had something like sprint goals. So or release goals. This is something like release goal for each team. So for a particular team, for the accounts management team, they will say our objective is deliver account balance and transaction history features with 90% test coverage. Enable secure fund transfer encrypted protocols. And you will create something called program board. How do we do that? That we'll get into. So day two starts with team breakout sessions. In the team breakout sessions, the dependencies and risks are spoken about. They will talk to each other. Then each team will draft the PI objectives. I will show you. I don't think you guys are.
Sir, can you repeat one more time? Like PI objectives are similar to Scrum. What did you mention?
One sec here. I'm struggling to. Okay, one sec. Basically like sprint goals are there for every sprint. So PI objectives is your goals for each for that particular PI.
Okay, thank you. So similar to.
So see, so these are a sample of PI objectives. So for accounts management team, they say deliver accounts overview feature by iteration 2. Ensure 95% automated coverage. For payments team, this is their objective. For the another team, this is their objective. So individually, each team will write their own objective. Again, they are drafting it. This is not final. They are just drafting it based on, so let us say the accounts overview team, they have something like 10 or 12 or 15 stories. Based on those 15 stories, they are saying this and this is what they will deliver. And they will put these deliveries in what is called program board. So let's get into the program board now. And then this is how a program board looks like. So don't worry about when you're looking at it. So these are the different teams. These are the Scrum names for these teams. So what is a program board? A program board is a visual representation of inter-team dependencies and the milestones. What is it that each team is going to deliver? Sprint after sprint or iteration after iteration, and what are their dependencies with each other. This looks very complicated, but don't worry. Give it 10 minutes. You will be able to understand it. Now, so maybe the Bulls team is one team. Then there is Tigers, there is Eagles, there is Bears. These are all Scrum names for these teams. Okay, so look at this team. Beautiful. Bulls team. This is the team I will choose. Why? Because see, this blue colored cards are your features. Again, these are not stories. These are features. So each feature will have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10, whatever number of stories. So in first iteration, they are delivering this feature. Most likely this will be 3 or 4 stories which they will be able to deliver. And again, they don't have a dependency on anybody. They are a beautiful team. Then in iteration 3, they are going to deliver another feature. Maybe the preparation for delivery of this feature would have started in iteration 2 itself. They would do 2, 3 stories here. They would test these stories here, but they will deliver this feature here. But they don't have a dependency with any other team. Then in iteration C, we have 4 iterations: sprint 1, sprint 2, sprint 3, sprint 4. Then sprint 5 is something which is called innovation and planning sprint. What is that? We'll get into that. Forget about it for now. For now, just concentrate that we have 4 sprints. Rather than calling sprints, we are calling it iterations. So iteration 1, sprint 1, sprint 2, sprint 3, sprint 4. For Bulls team, they will deliver this feature in sprint 1 itself. Typically, it will have 3 or 5 stories which they will be able to complete. Then preparation for, then they are delivering another feature in sprint 3, but they would have started their stories here. They would have completed all these stories in this sprint. That is why they are delivering this feature in this. Similarly, they are delivering another feature in this sprint. So they are delivering in sprint 1, one feature, sprint 3, another feature, sprint 4 in another feature. And they have no dependency on any other team. Then there is a UX help team. This is a team which does not deliver any features on its own. They are basically a team which designs UX screens for other teams. So they only work on dependencies. That is why these red color things are dependency stories. Now let us go and see another team, Antelopes. Again, it's another beautiful team. No dependencies. They will deliver one feature here, one feature in fourth sprint. This is a good team. Now let us go and see this unicorns. Unicorns are going to deliver one feature in sprint 3 and 2 features in sprint 4. So this, till this point, it is clear, right? All we are doing is we are looking at these blue color cards and looking at when the teams are going to complete their features. Bulls here, bulls here, bulls here, unicorns here, and 2 features here. But to deliver this feature, they have a dependency with Lions. Maybe some API they need. But Lions also cannot deliver that API on its own. It has a dependency with Beers. Beers also need to give some sort of input to this API. So Beers start this work. So they would have sorted, okay, to deliver this feature, let us say this is a payments integration story that they are doing. So to deliver this story, they need a API. This API is dependent on Lions team. Lions team say, we can also deliver this, but we have another dependency from some other team. We need some dependency from them. So Beers start this story. They deliver this story to Lions. Lions do their API work. They deliver it to unicorns. Unicorns integrate that API into their system and they can deliver the feature. So this is how this feature is worked out. But all these discussions happen during the PI planning, during the team breakout session. So in the breakout session for unicorns, they would have identified, oh, they have a dependency. They would have gone to Lions team. Lions team have told, oh, we can deliver you this API, but we also have a dependency with Beers team. So both of them would have gone to Beers. Beers, this is a significant feature. We need it early. Beers would have said, okay, boss, in that case, if it is a critical feature, we would start in iteration 1. So the PO would have said, can I do this feature now? PO would have contacted the program manager. Program manager would have told, no. We need this feature. This feature is more important than this feature. So you can delay your feature, but start working on the dependency for this feature in your first sprint. All of these discussions happen in the PI planning itself. So program board is a board which tells all these dependencies. So now this is clear. Now they have to deliver this. This feature has a dependency. These red lines are showing these dependencies. Deepak, this is what you might have seen, these crisscross lines when you were.
Yeah, correct. With the thread, they used to show the dependency.
So this feature I can only deliver, but I have a dependency with Beers team. Beers team inherently have a dependency for this on the system architect team. Most likely some design needs to be approved or created by the architects team. So the architect team would work on this design now, and then they would deliver it to Beers. Beers would do whatever they have to do and give it to unicorns. Unicorns would integrate whatever they have to do from these 2 dependencies and deliver the feature in the sprint. Similarly, they have another feature. They have a dependency with Lions. Lions have a dependency with UX. Then look at Lions. Lions are delivering this feature. No problem at all, no dependency. In the second sprint, they say they will have to deliver a feature that has a dependency now with Tigers. Tigers have a dependency with the architect team. Similarly, they are working on this feature, but they are also working on some dependency for the unicorns. So they have some stories here. These stories belong to a feature which has dependent stories with Tiger and system arc team. And then they have another. So these are all stories, but these are dependent stories for which they are doing for unicorns. Then Beers have same. Look at Tigers. Tigers are working on dependency stories, but they are delivering a feature here also. But this feature has a dependency with Lions. So this is how you read this chart. So this chart is created by the release train engineer in consultation with the Scrum Masters and the product owners. So this is what which features gets delivered when, if there is any deadlock or a conflict, then you go to the program manager. Program manager, we are stuck. So they will tell, okay, between X feature and Y feature, okay, we need to deliver X first. So work on X, then deliver Y. So they are looking at a program level. So on a program level, they are sorting, just like product owner sorts out the dependencies and the priorities for a particular team. But here, let us say PC sir and Deepak are, PC sir is the PO for beers and Deepak is for lions. Both of them are having a conflict. Which features goes in first? They go to the program manager or the product manager. Product manager says, okay, this one we need first. Okay, they will say, okay, we will start this now. And this dependency we will start in the next sprint. So that all that conflict resolution is done. So once the program board is final, then you can finalize your PI objectives. So in the interview, they will not ask you to build this, okay? But they will ask you what is a program board. So program board is a board which visually tells us which features get delivered in which iteration and what are the dependencies with teams. So how do you find out dependencies in a safe or in a ART environment? There is a program board where you draw these mappings to find out the dependencies that the teams have with each other. So they will ask you what is a program board. That's all. Now,
Sir, so one thing, this program board will be done in Jira or some other tools we
Miro,
use.
most likely Miro, but there could be other tools also.
Okay, not in Jira.
Not in Jira.
Okay.
Miro or some other visual tool. Okay, you can say in your, if they ask you which tool are you using, Miro. Are you comfortable in creating this? If you are comfortable, say yes. Otherwise, say RT or release train engineer does it. Okay. Okay. So now these dependencies and delivery milestones are visualized with the help of a program board. Once it is done, then we do something called confidence voting. So let us say now you have your risks are identified. Okay, let's talk about risk and then come back to. So risks are, so for example, payment gateway delay could be there. Okay, this I will explain you in the next class, the explanation of the risk board. So on day 2, basically, one thing you have to finalize is the program board. Then after the program board is finalized, then your PI objectives will be finalized. But PI objectives can only be finalized after a discussion on the risk. So there is something called risk board. So I'll explain you briefly. So risk management. So basically what is risk? Risk is anything which will prevent you from completing these stories or features. Very simple. There are different kinds of risks. Resource level risk, technical risk, dependencies risk, and so forth. Now, we will put all these risks on a board. This board, I will show you that also. So this is how a risk board looks like. These are the risks. This has something, blah, blah, blah. What is this? I'll explain. So this is how a risk board looks like. So on day 2, you will also create a risk board. So first, what do you do on day 2? Team breakout session. In the team breakout session, a PI objective draft is created. Then dependencies are visualized on the program board. So PI objectives, program board. Then there is a risk board. Then you create a risk board where all the risks that your team has, you go to the release train engineer. First, you internally discuss your risks. Then you go to the release train engineer. He will have a risk board for the entire ART. Then you say, okay, my team has this risk. Vilasha goes, says she has this risk. Omkar gives another 2-3 risk. Everybody will give their risks and he will put it on a risk board. So there is a technique called ROAM technique, which we will discuss in detail in the next class. So ROAM technique is we identify each risk in the form of a ROAM. So ROAM is a technique where risk is identified as either resolved, owned, accepted, mitigated, ROAM. So risk management in SAFE is done through a technique called ROAM. What is this technique? This technique is identifying the risks and then classifying it into either of the 4 categories. So risk dega, risk kya hai? Risk ko identify kiya. Once we identify a risk, then we divide it. Either we say the risk is resolved, or we say it is owned, or we say it is accepted, or we say it is mitigated. What is each of those things? We'll do an explanation. For now, just understand, we will raise it. So let us say the risk is there that the payment provider, somebody raised a risk that whether API will be available for the payment gateway integration or not. That is a risk. So that is but it was, so then another security team has to test encryption protocols. That is a risk some team raised. So these are different kinds of risk. And then each risk is discussed and then we formalize what are we going to divide this risk into. That's a separate discussion which we'll do. So team breakout session in the first hour, they discuss their dependencies and risks. Then they draft PI objectives. Then after the PI objectives are drafted, then these dependencies and milestones are discussed among the teams and your program board is finalized. And then in between that, the risks are also discussed and the risk board is also populated with this information. So program board, risk board, PI objectives. Once you have the risk board, then you have the dependency board, which is your program board. Then you have the PI objectives. Now, once all these 3 things are there, then if everything is done, then you say, then the Scrum Master will come to the team. You know the risks. This is the risk board. You know the risks. Then you know our dependencies. You know which feature will be delivered when. Now, what can we declare these PI objectives as final? So to the accounts management team, their Scrum Master will ask, can we declare these to our objectives? Can we commit them? Then he will do what is called confidence voting. How much confidence do you have that we will be able to deliver these 2 features? You know our dependencies with other teams. You know the risks we have. You know when we have to deliver. You have all the information. Based on the information, do you think we will be able to deliver our objectives? So if they have complete, so they will raise a fist of 5. So if people have complete confidence, they will say this. This means complete confidence 5. 4, somebody will give 4. Let us say PC sir says 2. Let us say Deepak says 1. So this is what am I doing? I am doing confidence voting. This is what is happening now is confidence voting. So we have a dependency board or the program board. We have the risk board. We have our rough PI objectives. So Scrum Master says, this is what we have to deliver. You know the risks, you know the milestones, what we have to do. Now, please raise your fists and tell me how much confidence you have. So most people say 5, 4, but PC sir says 2. Deepak says 1. Omkar also says 1. So these people, so then we close the confidence vote. So on an average, the average comes out to be, let us say 3.2 or 3.4. The average is less than 4. If the average is less than 4, then there are few people who are not confident of these objectives. Then the Scrum Master will ask, PC sir, why have you given confidence of 2? PC sir says, I think we will not be able to complete the stories, UI stories, because we don't have enough resources. Okay. So then we will deal with the risk. Can we have more resources? Maybe we cannot have more resources. Then we go to the program manager. We ask him, what if we can't complete this? He says, okay, this is a lower priority item. Even if you are not able to complete it, I am fine with it. We can delay it to the next sprint. So those are lower priority items. PC sir, are you satisfied with this explanation? PC sir says, yes. Now I will be able to give 4 or 5, because even if we are not able to complete it, this is a lower priority item, so we can take that risk. Fine. Then Deepak says, oh, I have a problem with API. I do not know which this input will come from which team. So then we discuss that. Then another team says, yeah. We know this input, what Deepak is talking about, we will be able to give. So Deepak, will you be able to, are you confident, feeling confident now? He says, yeah, my risk is, my clarification is done. I am fine. So then another round of voting is done. Does everybody give 4 or 5? Yes, everybody gives 4 or 5. So the average vote number is more than 4. So then we can declare these objectives as final. But let us say again, in the confidence voting, it is less than 4. It is 3.5 or 3 or 2.5. Again, few people have doubts. Again, we will check with those people. Why are you not confident? So typically 2 or 3 rounds are done. And ultimately, everybody has to show the confidence average of more than 4. If it is more than 4, then we declare that these are the objectives. This is what we are committing to the product owner and the release train engineer, that these are the stories or epics that we will be completing. So this is how PI planning is done. Lot of things to take now. So day two team breakout sessions. They finalize their risks and dependencies. Then they draft PI objectives. Then they put up their risks on the risk board. So once the program board is finalized, the dependencies are sorted out. Once the risks are sorted out, then the last step is you do confidence voting. In the confidence voting, if everything is fine, it is more than 4, the average is more than 4, then everything is great. If average is less than 4, then people who are not confident, they are asked why you are not confident. They will explain that these are the reasons we are not confident, and the Scrum Master and the PO will try to resolve those apprehensions. Then once those are resolved, then again confidence voting is done. So in the interview, they will ask you, what is a program board? What is a risk board? So risk board is a board which shows the risk raised by the team, all the teams during the PI planning. And these risks are divided into resolved, owned, accepted, and mitigated, 4 categories. In the next class, we will understand what are these categories and how do we identify them. All that we will do. But for now, you understand there is something called risk board. And there is something called Rome technique. Then there is something called program board. Then there is something called confidence voting. Then there is something called PI objectives. PI objectives, program board, risk board, and confidence vote. These are the 4 concepts that happen on day 2. Do you know PI planning? Yes, I know PI planning. It's a 2-day event. Day one, what happens? Day 1, business context is established by the business owners. Day 2, day 1, the second item is product roadmap by the product management team. Day 3, hour 3. I'm sounding like big boss. Day 3. Okay. So what is this? Hour 3. Technical roadmap by the architects. Business context by business owners. Product roadmap by the product management team. Technical roadmap by the architects. And then the team breakout sessions where epics are broken down into stories and risks and dependencies are discussed. Then on day 2, extension of team breakout sessions, they finalize the dependencies and risks. Then they create rough PI objectives. Then risks are discussed. Then the program board is finalized. Risk board is there. Program board is there. Rough PI objectives are there. You know your risks. You know your dependencies. You know your objectives. Then we do confidence voting. Are you confident? Yes. Then we can finalize the PI objectives. So program board is finalized, risk board is finalized, then the PI objectives are finalized. And once the PI objectives are finalized, then confidence voting. Confidence voting, if the average is more than 4 in the confidence voting, everybody has given 4 or 5, great. We can finalize the PI objectives. If not, another round of PI objectives. Another round of confidence voting. If people are raising concerns, then again you will look into the risk, again you will look into the dependencies. Once that is sorted, then again confidence voting. Confidence voting may have 2 or 3 rounds till people are comfortable. Whenever they give more than 4, then we finalize our. So 4 concepts on day 2, 4 concepts on day 1. But this is not a pravachan. Now you guys have to tell me. I will stop sharing. Now you have to tell me. On day 1, Kiran will tell only first hour what happens, Kiran. Day 1, first hour.
Business team, they will provide the details of what is their plan of business plan.
Owners will give the business context or the vision. Clear? Business owners will give business context or the vision of the product. Fine. Day 2, hour 2, PC sir. What is the second thing that happens on PI planning?
Product owner product map.
Product roadmap.
Roadmap. Sorry, product roadmap.
What is product roadmap? Which features are we doing in this PI? What features are we doing in the next PI? What features are we doing in the next PI? What are those features? How will it benefit the business? Like that. So product roadmap. Who will give that product roadmap?
Product owner.
Product management team.
Oh, sorry. Product owner.
Who is there in the product management team? Product managers, product owners. There will be, so if there are 5 teams, typically there will be 2 or 3 product owners, maybe 4. So these 3-4 product owners, 1 product manager. So product manager is in charge of all the features. Product owners will have some specific sub products or sub features. You got this? So for example, this entire banking application will be taken care by Venkatesh sir. He is 20 years experienced into banking domains. He is the one who is going to design the entire product, what features it will be, like that. But accounts overview, that will be taken care by, let us say, Omkar. He is the product owner for that particular feature. So all these product owners and product managers and BAs, all these people are called product management team. That product management team will give product roadmap in the second hour. Is this clear? Then, Sudipta, what happens in the third hour? Or what is the third thing?
The architects will give the technical roadmap.
Technical roadmap. For example, in this PI, we will upgrade our Angular from 14 to 18. We will upgrade Java to this. We will deploy encryption software, whatever, blah, 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 whatever we have to do. Technical side of things, what do we have to do? Is this clear, the first 3 points? When you are explaining the PI, you have to tell these are the 3 things that, again, this is not a set pattern, but typically this is how a PI is done. If you go through all these 7-8 things, then there is not much that the interviewer can question. And in 1 hour, this is the best I could have arranged to give you this information. If you give this information, this is a practical information, and this will help you in clearing the interview. Okay. So first 3 points are clear. So Omkar, what happens in the last? What is the last session on day 1? What happens there? What is
So after team breakouts, each team will plan their work.
that last session is called team breakout. What happens
Yeah.
in?
So each team will plan their work. So as we have take the examples of payment, so account team will plan their work accordingly. Payment
How
team
do
will
they plan their work? Epics
Uh,
are broken down into
epics are broken into stories.
epics are broken down into stories.
Stories.
Features are broken down into stories. And each story is discussed and you find out dependencies and risks.
Yeah.
So risks are we need something, dependencies are we need some API information. Risk is that this story will involve dealing with the legacy code. Will we be able to deal with the legacy code? Like that discussion is happening. So what is the last session? Team breakout session. What happens in team breakout sessions? Epics are broken into stories and dependencies and risks are discussed at a story level. What are the dependencies with other teams and what are the risks in completing these stories? Is this clear? Then day 2. Itna bhi bata doge jitna summarized hai, this is also beautiful, no problem. Then day 2, Sudipta, what is the first thing that happens?
Sir, drafting of the PI objectives.
Correct.
First.
Correct.
It is similar to the sprint goals. Like, yeah.
Okay, that is fine. So drafting of the PI objectives is done. What is the, based on the whatever stories we have picked up, what are the objectives of our team that we have to deliver? Okay. Then what is the other thing, Abhilasha, that happens?
Sir, team talks about the risk and dependencies. The risk dependency was identified.
Give me the concept. Dependencies are finalized how? What is used?
The program.
Program board.
Program board.
When you are explaining PI planning, you have to tell what is the bloody program board. So on day 2, program board is finalized. We finalize the dependencies and the milestones, which team will deliver its feature when, what are the dependencies, that is visualized through a program board. Okay. Then, Mohammed sir, you are not asking any question today. What is happening? You are there, right? Okay.
Yes, I'm there, but actually I'm still going on.
What is it? You are traveling or what is it? Doing something else. Okay. So who wants to tell me this one other thing? Program board, drafting of PI objectives. What is the third thing?
Risk management.
Risk management, risk board.
Risk board.
Program board, risk board. So on day 2, you draft PI objectives after you have discussed the risk board, or even before that also you can draft rough PI objectives, then discuss the risks and the program board, risk board, and the PI objectives. So then what happens?
Confidence voting.
Then you do the confidence vote, whether the PI objectives, people are confident in the PI objectives or not. If they are confident, then you finalize those PI objectives. If you are not confident, then you discuss more risks, then those are added to the board. If there are any other dependencies, those are added to the program board. Then again, confidence voting is done. If now everything is clear, they are satisfied, then program board, risk board, and more importantly, the PI objectives are finalized. Is this clear, the flow? I will ask you again and again in the next class also, till the time you give me, but I think you have got it. So if you explain these 8 points, that's your PI planning. After the PI, yes, Sudipta.
So just one thing to understand, like you mentioned confidence voting, right? So confidence voting, like who will do? The team members in the 6 groups will do, or this, like who will say like I am not
Who will facilitate?
confident? Like
Scrum Master will facilitate the confidence.
Scrum Master. Facilitate.
At a-
So the
at
team
a-
members will bring up the problem.
Internally, practically, each Scrum Master would do confidence voting, but on an overall ART level, release train engineer can facilitate the confidence voting.
Okay. In that time, the Scrum Masters from each team will say that my confidence in my team is like either
No,
4 or
everybody. It is open to everybody. Everybody will vote.
Okay.
For individual teams, Scrum Masters can facilitate this. But if when you are doing the confidence vote for an entire ART, then RTE will facilitate that.
Okay.
So sometimes this happens on individual level also. I mean individual teams, but it happens on a program level also.
Okay.
And this program board is at a ART level. This risk board is at a ART level. Okay, so this is our PI planning. Once the PI planning is done, what do we have? We have our stories. We know which stories to go in which sprint. Now, this is 4th of October, 6 p.m. in the evening. Each one of you have somebody has 20 stories, somebody has 30, somebody has 35. You know, this sprint we will do this sprint. And then on the 4th or 5th of October, you can start your sprint planning. If the stories need to be groomed further in detail, then you can do a grooming session for 2-3 hours and then do a PI planning on day 1, and then you can start your iterations. So let us say on 5th of October morning, you have got the stories now, but team says we need some more details. Let's finalize it. So you can have 2 or 3 hour grooming for that particular. I will explain here in detail. So let us say for Lions, they know they have to deliver this feature. So let us say this feature has 5 stories. So people say, no, we need more details. Let us finalize it. So they will say, okay, for these 5 stories, let us have a 2-3 hour grooming session. They will start it. And then in the sprint plan, they will finalize this and then they can start working on it. And then, so that's day 1 grooming, then day 1 on 5th October sprint planning. In the sprint planning, you move these 5 stories for this feature into sprint backlog. Then your daily stand-ups, then you will do a sprint review, then a sprint retrospectives, everything same for this particular sprint. Is this clear? Same thing, whatever you are doing for this sprint, then same for this, same for this, exact same.
Sir, story creation is happen in PI planning only?
Story creation for most part will happen in the PI planning itself. But sometimes when you go to sprint 3, sprint 4, you may find out there are additional stories which may be required. Then those are created there and then. But 60 to 80% of these stories should ideally be created during the PI planning itself, at least the draft. They may add or subtract some acceptance criteria during the individual sprint grooming sessions. So now PI planning is done. Then let me introduce you one other. I will take 10 more minutes because tomorrow is off. Day after tomorrow is another off. I'm surprised lot. People have already declared a long weekend. How will I explain all these things again? I can't. Okay. So, okay. So this is the execution phase now. Okay. So here what happens is on 5th, so October 3, October 4, you have done your PI planning. You have got your PI objectives. Now, for each of the iterations, which is sprint basically, but we will call it iteration. For each iteration planning will. In this iteration planning, teams will refine and commit to the story. Same grooming session. The payments team commits to set up payment gateway API and create, and the second. So this is one story. Maybe this is a 13 pointer. This is another story. This is an 8 pointer. Then they will do the daily stand up, discuss impediments and plans. Then a review is done. This is an internal review which happens to the particular accounts team or the payments team. Then retrospectives will happen same way. But after doing this demo, review, now there are few other safe events which will happen. After the iteration is done, first iteration, there is something called system demo which will happen, where all the teams will be involved. So a system demo will happen after the iteration is done. So let me explain you. So end of first iteration, then probably when the second iteration is starting or first iteration is over on the last day or there is something called system demo, product system demo. So product system demo, this is not called sprint review. This is a product system demo. What happens in product system demo is lions have completed their feature. They will show it. Will unicorns show anything? No, because they have not completed any feature. Will bears show anything? No, because they have done their stories which are a part of this feature. They are not going to show anything. Tigers will not show anything. Bulls will show. So in system demo 1, which happens after iteration 1, lions and bulls, these two teams will show their features to everybody. If you have completed your stories, but those stories are a part of some other features, you are not going to show anything. Only the completed features in line with the agile principles, only completed features. Then, so this, I am talking about the second safe event now, system demos. This is different to how Scrum operates. The PI planning was different. You understood what happens in PI planning. Now this is system, product system demo. Now after sprint 2 is over, lions will show this feature, bears will show this feature, antelopes will show this feature. So after every iteration, there will be a system demo. And after all the iterations are completed, there will be a combined system demo also. So ideally, system demo happens after every iteration, and it happens also after the end of all the iterations, as in a combined system demo for the entire PI. But sometimes teams skip it. They have a combined system demo only, but that's a bad practice. Ideally, in an ideal world, system demo, if they ask you, you say yes, it happens, but sometimes it is skipped because of whatever reasons. but typically 1 or 2 system demos are happening after the iterations, but definitely a combined system demo happens after the iterations are over. When does that happen? That also we'll discuss. So this is clear, system demos concept. 2 system demos, one which happens after every iteration. Second, once all the iterations are over, then whatever you have achieved, all these features, 1, 2, 3, all these features are showcased in the combined system demo. So now I'm coming to.
Sir, one question. Who gives the demo?
You tell me. You tell me.
The team? Anybody from
Who
the
in
team?
the team?
Scrum
Might be.
team.
Scrum team.
Who in the Scrum team?
The developers. Developers, I mean the developer. Or the
QAs
support.
and POs, they will present the features. If it is a technical feature, if it is something technical, then maybe architect or the tech leads. But if it feature are always done by the QAs and the POs. It will as a combined effort. But major internal, so reviews again, QAs and POs will present, but system demos, QAs and POs will present. QA will say, okay, these are the things we tested, this is working. POs will chip in ideally. But again, it can depend. But so in some organizations, I have seen POs are the ones who lead it. In some organizations, QAs lead it. Some organizations, they combine it. But if the questions relate to something which developers know, then developers will answer those questions if it is a QA. But the presentation is done by QA and PO. So PI planning, you know. So these are the flow of events. PI planning is done. After PI planning, we get objectives, PI objectives. Then we know which stories we are going to do when. Then we start our iteration executions. Then there is something called system demos. System demos happen after each iteration, one, and then once all the iterations are over, then a combined system demo also. I will not go to these, but I will get into ArtSync. Then there is something called ART Sync. So these are, so during the iterations, during the sprints, there are 2 other events which happen. One of the, so it is called ArtSync, but ArtSync is inherently now divided into 2 other events. So now I can go longer, right? You have a holiday tomorrow and a holiday. I've already told you 10 times. I'm telling you 11 times. You have a holiday tomorrow and day after tomorrow. So we'll study more today. Okay. Kiran, don't be disappointed here.
No problem. I know. Even I was about to ask for weekends actually. Saturday, can we adjust and we can discuss?
No, I am okay to teach on Thursday also, but I think not a lot of people showed interest. So I told them that don't worry, we'll extend it on Monday. As it is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So we will have a class on next Wednesday. I think we'll get these people to do the announcement. And that Wednesday will be your last class. Okay. So Monday, Tuesday, most likely we will do an extended sessions also. Okay.
Sir, if we cannot complete up to the Wednesday, then you can take a lecture in between, no problem.
Of course. No, it's don't worry. Safe will be done by Friday. And then we have 3 more sessions. On Monday, most likely I'm going to do your user story splitting spider technique. That's the only thing which is pending apart from CI/CD. So that I'll complete it on Monday itself. But Tuesday we can do a revision of that. And Wednesday I've kept it as a buffer.
Okay. And on questions answer, you are going to provide us.
Wednesday we can do the questions.
Yeah, and set this PPT also.
Don't worry, Sudipta, you will get the PPT.
Thank you.
The PPT you shared, I think, yesterday.
No, but she was not there yesterday now, so.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we can mail it. Not a problem.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Deepak.
Okay.
You are in there. There is some WhatsApp group also, right?
Yes. WhatsApp group, I'm there.
Put it there also, so that everybody is. Can someone please put the PPT there?
Yeah, we'll put it. I'll mail it from there. Anybody can take it.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Huh. So PI planning is the first event you understood, then a system demo. That also you understood. Now there are two other events I'm talking about. These are called Art Sync. So what if Abhilasha has a dependency on the UX team, which is Omkar's team. But Omkar hasn't completed. He was supposed to give that on day 7 of sprint 1. He hasn't given that story. Abhilasha is worried. Omkar is not responding to the pings. Then, so there is something called Scrum of Scrums. Scrum of Scrum is an event where dependencies and blockers among the teams are discussed on a weekly or bi-weekly basis. So the team I am, there are a lot of, there's one art which I told you that I'm running. In that art, I have a Scrum of Scrums on Thursday, 2 o'clock. So every Thursday. So every Thursday between 2 o'clock and 2:30, all the Scrum Masters, release train engineer, product owners, and the other relevant people, whosoever these people can invite, they get together, and blockers and dependencies among each other are discussed. So Abhilasha will say, okay, Joey, I am assuming I am the RT. So who will host this call? Release train engineer. And Scrum Masters are mandatory in this call. Scrum Masters are mandatory in this call. Scrum Masters have to be there. So Scrum Masters have to be there. So now you need to, so then Abhilasha will say, Joey, I have a dependency on UX team. This story is not getting ready. Then Omkar sir, what is happening? Omkar will say, Kiran was the key person. He is not there, but he will come back tomorrow. We will be able to deliver it by EOD tomorrow. Something like that. Or there could be a technical challenge. So Dipta will say, okay, I have run into a technical challenge. The API which PC sir's team gave, that is not working. The endpoints are not working. We need a call with those guys, something like that. So maybe they will set up a call. So basically all those blockers, dependencies are identified and a resolution is sought in this Scrum of Scrum call. Then there is another sync call. Now, Scrum or Scrum happens on a weekly or bi-weekly basis. Either weekly or bi-weekly. They will ask you. It is your duty to represent your team. So you, Scrum Master, will definitely go to Scrum of Scrums to discuss. So they will not be asking you direct question. They will ask you, how do you deal with dependencies in a safety? Sir, I deal with dependencies. I will go out to the Scrum of Scrums if I have dependency on other teams and raise it in that forum. We'll talk to the release train engineer, we'll talk to the architects, we'll talk to the other Scrum Masters, other product owners, and we'll try to resolve my team's dependencies. Then there is a program board also where my dependencies are visualized. So I know where my team dependencies are. So if Abhilasha, they ask you, how do you deal with dependencies in your team? You will say, I have program board. I look at the program board and see which team has dependencies on my team and which team has the dependent story for my feature delivery. Then I go to Scrum of Scrums and I raise the issues in each on every week and try to find solutions from release train engineer, from other Scrum Masters, other product owners. Is this clear? Then there is another sync event, which is called the PO sync. The PO sync event is an event where product owners are mandatory. Scrum Masters may or may not be invited, but that's a call where product management team discusses on a feature level, which feature is getting completed, if feature has a dependency on some other, that is on a business level, they are discussing those things. So this is called a PO sync. PO sync is a event which is again hosted by RT, but is primarily a PO sync. At feature level, they will find out dependencies with each other and discuss those things. Is that? Scrum of Scrums is clear to everybody. Do you have any doubts on Scrum of Scrums? Scrum Masters, release train engineers, optionally if POs are required, optionally if system architect is there. Team progress, dependencies, blockers are discussed.
Sir, I have one question on Scrum of Scrums. So
Yep.
what would be the time frame of that, like time boxed?
I think 30 minutes. It may run out to be 45 minutes also, but typically 30 minutes.
Okay. And it is not like a daily Scrum, we have it like 15 minutes, not like
No, it is a 30-minute event which happens on once in every week
once in every week or bi-weekly.
or bi-weekly.
Okay. Thank you.
PO sync is clear to all of you. PO sync is an event where RT is the one who facilitates it. It ensures alignment between product owners, product management, other stakeholders on a feature level, the dependencies, and so prioritize. So let us say one feature is not getting completed. PC sir is doing a feature which is not getting completed. Kiran is doing another feature which has a conflict. So then again, those kinds of conflicts at a feature level, which feature is more important than the other, which if this is not getting completed, can we skip it and do something else? It's like that. So, that kind of discussion happens at a feature level on a POC. Okay, now. So don't worry, we'll wind up in another 5 minutes. I'll not give you any more information. Already too much information. Okay. So PI planning, iteration execution, system demos, and art sync. Art sync means 2 events. The IP and IA, those are the last 2 events, which I will not discuss today. We'll discuss it next time. So, one, two, three, 4. These events you have already had a discussion for. This 5th and the 6th event is the IP and IA, which we will discuss next time. Okay, now you need to go through this in the next 2 days. So PI planning, what business context, product roadmap, technical roadmap, committed objectives, uncommitted objectives, I haven't told you, I will tell you. Program board, ROM board, who are the participants, then iteration, execution, what happens, then system demo, who is in the system demo, what is the output of the system demo. Then art sync. Art sync has 2 events, basically SOS and PO sync. So those IP and IA, this we'll discuss, but this gives you an insight of more details. Now, this you can go through. This you can go through. So system demo held at the end of each iteration. So after iteration 2, system demo is showcasing an example. This is given. This we'll not discuss today. This will not discuss today. Okay. This we have already discussed. Program board also, you guys are well aware of. These are iteration plans. In iteration 1, this team is doing this team is doing this team is doing this. Iteration 2, this is on an iteration level, each team's plan. This is the confidence vote example. Okay. Team backlog and program backlog, these are 2 different things. So for each team, whatever is your backlog, that is team backlog. But if you combine the backlog of all the teams, that is program backlog. Okay, I think this is it. So far we have discussed PI planning. After the PI planning, iteration execution. After each iteration, there is a system demo. Then there's a system demo at the end of all the iterations. Then during the iteration execution, every week there is SOS and there is a PO sync, which also happens once in every 2 weeks or after end of each iteration. So is this clear till now? You can ask your questions now. So after the 4 iterations are completed, then there is another iteration. In that iteration, in the first week, there is IT event. In the last week, there is IA event. What are those 2 events? We'll discuss on Friday. So there are 6 additional events in SAFe. PI planning, SOS, PO sync, system demos, inspect and adapt, and innovation and planning. These are the 6 events. So as a Scrum Master, you will do your 6 events plus you will do these 6 events. So there is additional responsibility. तो अगर सेफ की नौकरी मिले तो मत करना अगर सेम पैकेज है तो क्योंकि there is too much work there. I would never do an RTE job. Too much work for very little. If the package is significantly higher, then I'm fine. But safe में काम बहुत होता है. अरे I am a practical guy यार.
But in big organizations, safe will be there mostly.
Then you have to work. Minimum effort, maximum money. But if you are not getting money with minimum effort, then effort can be increased. That's fine. What am I teaching? No, I'm teaching bullshit. No, don't agree with me. I'm just bullshitting. It depends on what you like in life. Anyways, so is SAFe kuch clear hai? How confidence voting? Are you getting a hang of it? I
सर
think
क्लियर
once
तो है बट इतना याद
याद तो
याद
that see is this what happens on day 1 and day 2? 4 things on day 1, 4 things on day 2. That is clear.
yes yes
Program board, risk board, PI objectives, confidence vote. First day, business objectives, product roadmap, technical roadmap, and team breakout session. 8 things. Then iterations. After iteration, system demo. During the iterations, Scrum of Scrum. SAP, oh yeah, SAP. Okay, wait. I think I have some questions on SAP. SAP, I had written somewhere. SAP. Okay, I have some information on it. Let me put it out. Then I'll explain you also something. See this over here. And this thing has a limit here. See? And then okay, so these are specific to SAP, but there will be, see, for example, rest of the scenario based will be same only. Your product owner is pushing for more stories than your velocity. What will you do? Does UAT require end-to-end testing in SAP? How is the testing strategy different in SAP to any other technology? What sort of blockers you get on a day-to-day basis in your SAP team? If have you done SAP in waterfall? Have you done SAP in agile? What is the difference between two? So if there are two different SAP modules, say FI or MM, those are two modules. If there are conflicts, how will you deal with them? How will you ensure transparency is there between different SAP vendors? Those kind of things. But logic remains the same, but these are some variations which I have given you, but logic remains the same. You know what is the best way for given a couple of interviews for SAP, then whatever questions they ask, typically in the third interview, it will be same. If you want, if I have to give a data scientist interview, I'll give that also. Within 3 interviews, I will know what they are going to ask me. I'll prepare for that. Then very simple like this. Most 100% if you give 3 interviews, you know what sort of questions you ask. Then it is only a matter of getting that one. But typically, this is how conflicts between the teams. Scrum fundamentals you need to know, but there is SAP domain awareness you need to have, like how integration happens, how data migrations happens, activation. Then there's something called, there's some other thing in SAP which they do. So SAP domain knowledge, you can Google it or watch some YouTube videos on SAP domain knowledge. But there are 3 kinds of questions that will come in any interview. One is your Scrum fundamentals, which we have already covered. Then people coaching and conflict management. That also we have done, people coaching and all those behavioral questions. Then the third will be your domain. So if it is SAP, if it is mainframe, or whatever domain, banking, healthcare. So if you are searching for a specific domain, then go watch some YouTube videos for SAP domain knowledge, or whatever. If it is healthcare, watch some YouTube videos on healthcare. There are enough available here.
But in advance, we won't know, right, which domain they are selecting us, the interviewer.
I'm sorry, I didn't get it.
No, yeah. Before the interview in the JD job description, will they mention it's for healthcare domain?
No, see, if they are mentioned, so let us say a company wants a healthcare domain Scrum Master, they will mention it. If they don't care what domain you are, then they will not mention it in the description.
So based on our resume,
no, there are certain jobs which will require you. So for example, SAP would want you to have a SAP experience. Then they will mention it. If they are not mentioning it in the JD, then most likely they don't care. You can be from any domain. Based on your Agile or Scrum knowledge, they would hire.
The maximum it's like that only, right? 80%.
60-70%. 60-70%. 10% they want technical Scrum Masters, 10% they want specific domains, 5% God knows what they want. But 60-70% they don't care about domain. But there are jobs who specifically they want that particular domain also. That is there. Okay, PC sir, you got this, right?
Yes, sir. 10 questions.
10 questions. They should be same for Salesforce. Salesforce again. How do you manage dependencies between Salesforce and if you have another ERP or you have a different data warehouse? How do you handle it? How do you create stories in Salesforce? How do you do your release management? How many, for a typical Salesforce process, how many releases you have in that year? How do you collaborate between Salesforce admins, developers, and analysts? What sort of challenges you get specifically for Salesforce? Those kind of questions. Watch some videos on SAP and
Yeah.
Salesforce if you are targeting those.
Yeah, actually, Salesforce. I have knowledge about Salesforce, actually, technical knowledge, but SAP,
So how do
I'm
you
not aware.
balance between, so let us say Salesforce, you are delivering a vanilla versus how do you do planning and all those, and how do you run sprints if it is a lot of customizations? So if it is a lot of customizations, then what sort of testing strategies would you adopt? How would you groom your stories better? Because standard products are easier to deliver. If there are a lot of customizations, what do you do extra in the groomings? How do you ensure dependencies are sorted out? Those sorts of questions they will ask you. You got it, right? Okay, I think we had a long, good session. So Friday we will conclude our SAFe. By that time, you will know all the events, and I'll deal with questions also on SAFe. Okay. So let's wind up. Too much information is also bad. Okay. I'll give you questions on SAFe also, yeah. So don't worry on that. Friday. Have a nice today. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, you were asking some real-time examples, right? For everybody to prepare.
So those are already there in the blockers, this thing, but I'll give you otherwise also I'll take it out and give you a cheat sheet kind of thing. Friday I'll give you. Just remind me, I'll give you that. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Have a nice 2-day break. See you on Friday, guys.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Good night.
Thank you. Thank you.